Hello, this is Angelo.
Hello, this is Alexandra.
And we are here with Funnel Hacking Live 2022 Review Masterclass.
So, what a journey.
What a journey.
Literally.
First of all, you might notice that today's webinar is sponsored by ClickFunnels and NASA.
Kennedy Space Center.
Everything arrived back in Greece, back to Greece intact. I know we are bragging a bit right now, but let me assure you, if you fly for almost 24 hours from one place to the other, and you carry all these things with you, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Right?
Yeah. So, why we are here? As Alexandra said, it was an amazing journey.
Yes.
It was something that we haven't done for years because of COVID and everything else. And because we said, you know what? We are growing our business now and it needs our attention. And
Yes.
also, we are very respective of our time and very respective of the fact that we build our business around our life and not the other way around.
Yes.
But you know what? It was an immediate decision to go to to Funnel Hacking Live for one reason alone. Because we needed that kickstart again to remind ourselves that we are in a world with 8 billion people with so many moving parts.
Yes.
And you cannot spend all your life, like behind one screen and call this a life. And I know that we all appreciated technology throughout these last few years and the fact that we can have, virtual events and so on, like this one. But wouldn't it be better if we're around, maybe a fire at some beach here on a Greek island discussing about funnel hacking? It would surely be much better. But we will do our very best here to give you our best insights from this amazing event. 4 days was the event, but we stayed in the US for 8 days in total.
Yes.
And for us, it was a humongous experience also because we visited Kennedy Space Center. And right after the event, this was also to get our minds out of commonality, let's say, out of business as usual, and into the space of evolution and development.
And as your mug says, the motto is go for launch.
Right.
So it's go for launch for a new era in business and funnel building and how we can go about the next years, all of us, to build our businesses, right? So
yeah.
Let's first say some things, though, right?
What we have prepared basically is our legendary that now everybody's expecting keepers, his and hers keepers from speakers.
Yes.
So, but because we know that this webinar, this masterclass will be definitely more than an hour and maybe close to an hour and a half, and many of you will not stick to the end, we want to share with you are 3 fundamental keepers from this event.
Yes.
The 3 most strategic insights that are not taken from one speech or the other, but it's like a common theme.
It was a common theme
from
amongst
the whole
all speakers.
Of the event.
Yes, exactly.
Okay?
So the first one.
The first one.
It was very impressive because I was expecting a lot of technical presentations around funnel building and new technologies and everything.
That's right.
And the most common thread among all presenters was this one: mindset. Work on your mindset and your heart set. This is the starting point for everything, right?
So there was not like a suggestion, work on your mindset. But what we've noticed with Alexandra is that all speakers basically have earned their position on stage, and their body language demonstrated success.
Even
and sometimes,
right?
When we talk about, something very specific, like Facebook ads, like optimizing the landing page, we forget that always, no matter what it is we're doing, mindset, protecting your mind and your heart set is a goal number 1. Is job number 1. This is very vital, very important.
Exactly.
The second thing is that sales funnel optimization is more valuable, more important than ever. Meaning, things are changing so fast. Platforms are changing so fast in terms of what it is hip, what works, what doesn't. And all these shifts in
The rules,
advertising
the ad
costs,
spend, yes.
on Facebook and Google especially, that advertisers are looking for new gateways. And all these things show that you should take one thing into very close attention and take really good care of your funnel. Master the idea that you are improving your funnel. And I have, in order to get your attention, and in order to remind you of how valuable this practice is to master it, what I like to say is that only those who get funnels get paid.
Yes, exactly.
In the past, what I'm saying right now is that in the past, you had the luxury to have a sloppy sales funnel. But now it is vital to optimize your funnel, get the maximum ROAS, return on ad spend, and make sure that your funnel is drawing the right audience and delivering the right message to that audience. So it will take effort, it will take time, but it will be worth it simply because you're optimizing the gateway that delivers at the end the financial success that you desire.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and yes. And number three,
always be learning. With Alexandra, many times we use the phrase, it is important to sleep better than how you woke up.
Yes.
At something that matters to you, of course, okay? Because we always get better. What matters is to get better at something that gets you closer to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But now, again, this feeling of perpetual knowledge and perpetual handpicking, the right knowledge, because we are bombarded with so much information. Right now, maybe you had like 3 invitations for 3 different webinars at the same time, and you had to pick. And you are here. We are very grateful for it. But what matters to you is, am I going to get
something
information enough to get to the next level of my business?
Exactly.
This is what it takes.
Exactly.
So,
and what Angelo mentioned, that always be learning, this is one of our core principles. This is one of our core, let's say, in our core system, right? So you have to always be learning, and that's why we took all this energy and money and time and went to Orlando, Florida to attend Funnel Hacking Live 2022. But now we will collapse time for you, and instead of having the 4-day immersion experience, right, in 1 hour approximately, you will have the best from all the speakers and everything that is relevant to funnel building.
So we said always be learning, right? So why keep it that to ourselves? We had some amazing insights. Let's share it with you. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is that we have prepared a PDF with more extensive notes. It's like 40 plus pages of notes from Funnel Hacking Live, and we highly recommend that you click our affiliate link that you will find most probably under this video or somewhere around that video, and you can join for free your first funnel challenge. It is a 5-day challenge from Russell Brunson. It is we highly recommend that you do so if you want to take your funnel hacking to the next level.
Exactly.
So let's get started. We have so many things to share.
Ladies and gentlemen, so drum roll. So day 1, we started, the stage started with Russell Brunson, right? He welcomed us on stage, and one of the key messages that I kept from his presentation, and I will have a look here at my notes as we go along, is, who are you called to serve? And the answer to the question is, it is the person that is most probably you just 5 years ago, right?
Yes.
It made me think a lot.
So many times.
This is your ideal client, because usually you have found a solution, you have found a way, and now you are ready to help other people who have the same problem with you just about 5 years ago, right?
And many of you who followed me for years know that as I started by daily shots of inspiration, writing 1 newsletter every single day for now more than 7.5 years.
Wow, it has been 7.5
My
years.
number
Crazy.
one client, and I didn't know that back then, was Angelo. This was my
Yes.
number one client.
Yes.
And basically what I was trying to fix was Angelo's mindset and help him get through the challenges and fortify my heart set in order to get to where I want to go.
Exactly.
But from Russell's speech, I absolutely agree with Alexandra. This was the best thing.
It made me
But,
think, yes.
I also remembered, that at the end of that speech, Todd came out. So Russell introduced his co-founder, Todd, the co-founder of ClickFunnels.
Yes.
And Todd said something amazing that I believe is the answer to all the wrongdoing from all these startups in the past few years or decade, which is most startups are building, like businesses with no business sense and no business plan.
Right.
And Todd said, build your company with funnels, not funding. So create something, something that is valuable from day one, so valuable in fact, and so it works so well that has the cash flow to support itself. And this is how successful businesses are solidified in the marketplace.
Exactly.
For example, even Facebook is going through, some, let's say, dark days, but still Facebook has a cash flow of tens of billions of dollars.
Millions, I was about to say, yes.
How
exactly.
about that?
Yes.
Because Facebook is a cash-rich business. Facebook has an amazing plan. Okay, it has collected the attention, it has gathered the attention of more than 2 billion people. It has gathered the attention of thousands, tens of thousands of advertisers. Many are in the very high ticket world,
Right.
like multinational companies and so on. And this is all it takes.
Exactly.
So always remember that how you build your funnel, how you build your business, what is your framework of success matters a lot.
It matters a lot, and it matters to think from day one like this. Next was Brooke Castillo on the stage. And one of the keepers I took from her was know your client's problem better than they do themselves.
Wow.
This was something because, as marketers, we've heard many times, you have to know your client's problem. You have to make a whole, analysis and create an avatar of your ideal client. And we've spoken with Angelo many times about this throughout the last many years. But this, let's say, perspective that know it better than they do for themselves really made me think and take a lot of notes. So, any comments on that?
I have an example already for you.
Okay, what is it?
To show you how much better than you think we understand your needs before we even met. Okay, what did we say in the very beginning? We said that most of you will not stay until the end.
We know that.
We understand that your attention span is, like getting smaller and smaller because of all these distractions, all these shiny objects, and it's okay. And this is why we are handpicking the value that we're bringing into you from all these 4 days. And also what I wanted to add about Brooke, because it made me realize how much, complicated I made things at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make the mistake of invalidating the framework because it is easy and you think everyone can do it.
Oh yes. And we tend to overcomplicate
the
things.
Fundamental
very common.
Yes. And the fundamental framework of Brooke Castillo is something that Tony Robbins is talking about, T. Harv Eker is talking about, and many other coaches are talking about, this transition from thoughts to feelings to actions to results and so on. But Brooke Castillo didn't stay there. It used that framework to create an 8-figure coaching business.
Which is amazing.
She didn't say, she could have said, who would care about this simple, easy framework that everyone knows? It's not about knowing a framework. By the way, the reason for you to watch this webinar is not only to learn something new you don't always go about learning something new.
No.
You go about validating whether something that is important is part of your operating system. Make a note of that.
Exactly.
Do what Angelo is saying. I agree with Angelo right now. It should be on my business. Is it? Is it part of my operating system?
Is it truly though, right? Because many times we say, yes, I know my client. I know very well the profile of my client. Do you really? Should you maybe have like a little brainstorming session again and maybe brush up on all the details? Because as our business is evolving, our clients are evolving and vice versa. So this is something we have to do every once in a while. Next, Jordan Burrows was on the stage. Amazing. 7 times, if I remember well, world wrestling champion.
Or so was it 8?
Could be 8.
Excuse us, we are from Greece. We met Jordan Burrows
for the first time
at the event.
Yes.
He was
impressive guy.
He made an amazing presentation, an amazing human being, and most importantly, he demonstrated from his presentation of what he has achieved. One of the fundamental limiting beliefs that most of us have, like I'm too old to do that.
Right.
I'm too old to start my funnel right now. I should have started earlier, and so on. And we tend, to expend our energy on self-beating ourselves instead of starting our first funnel. So Jordan Burrows, with his amazing success, and also he was injured right before the last World Championship.
Exactly, and still he made it. So it was a very inspiring presentation.
Power.
And the thread that came across this presentation was that it is okay to embrace difficulty. Actually, we should all embrace difficulty. It will appear at the most inopportune time, but once you do, because most of us, including myself, tend to shy away from it a bit, is that once you will embrace difficulty, and I'm reading my notes exactly as I said it, you will set a new standard for yourself. So through the dark days, you will become stronger and come out the other side a much more empowered person and business person, right?
For me, the keeper was for sure, all I see is gold.
Yes. Meaning the gold medal, right?
Yes, and many times those of you who follow me know how passionate I am in taking your attention from everything else than your ideal goal, your ideal destination, your super self, as we call it. And it is vital for you to become blind at everything else and focus only on one thing. And Jordan Burrows, with this attitude, with this monomaniacally focused attitude, managed to get all these championships, even at like a later age, and even injured.
Exactly. Next on stage was Daryl Eves. He's a YouTube expert, and I was impressed by some data that he presented, which concerned artificial intelligence. You remember? And he said, artificial intelligence that YouTube uses, like in its algorithm, knows your viewer so much better than you know your viewer. So use this to your advantage. Don't interrupt this data and let artificial intelligence work for you, meaning that it will find your perfect viewer and act accordingly, right? So all you have to do is focus on creating top content, and of course, focusing on the viewer that you want to target.
For me, Daryl broke my pattern twice during his presentation.
Why?
First of all, he broke my pattern when he revealed that for the last 10 years, he's getting paid by YouTube to help them, by Google, to help them understand YouTube better.
Okay, that's mind-blowing to
me. And the second time was to stop YouTube ads and allow the algorithm to work better for you.
This was for me very difficult to, let's say,
I still have trouble,
understand as a marketer.
You want to have more views, you think that your targeting is right. So this is something that we will definitely be experimenting in the forthcoming weeks and months. And for sure, I will be studying more closely Daryl's work and see how many of his insights I can include in my funnel optimization and my funnel hacking.
Exactly. Next was Stu McLaren. He talked about membership, which was very, very interesting. And you know what the number one reason for cancellation for memberships is? Can you guess? I couldn't. So it is complete overwhelm. So this was mind-blowing. And what it means is the following. That
Crazy.
many times as marketers, and because you want to serve your audience and your community, and you really want to give them your all and help as many people as possible, we tend to give so much content out there and so much information and so many modules and lessons and exercises and workbooks and this and that and the other. And the poor customer or client or audience is on the other side in complete overwhelm. And because he or she feels bad that they cannot complete all this information, they cancel the membership.
Yes.
A good thing to think about.
And how do we go about it? Well, Stu again gave the answer. Do more, and it's so simple again that it can be so overlooked. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay, and always remember, as Jim Rohn used to say, what is easy to do is also
it's easy not to do.
Right. So ask yourself, if you agree with this right now, is it part of my operating system?
Exactly. Next, the legendary Dan Kennedy came on stage.
Finally,
himself.
We've been on the same room with Dan Kennedy.
Yes.
We are on the other side of the Atlantic. So many times we feel with some internet marketers and some business leaders, we feel that we are, like family. We know them so much, so well.
Yes.
But with some of them, we have not met simply because it's not easy for us, like to travel every single day until, this
orbital flights come into effect.
Yeah.
Right. So Dan spoke about the goal. The business should have the goal of lifetime customers. You should be building lifetime customer, not just a customer. And in order to do that, you have to have a creative and interesting personality, either as a person yourself, if you are in front of your marketing, or your brand itself, right? So this was a very nice classic back to the basics marketing discussion that he gave on stage.
And the punchline he said was, for me, powerful, that everything has to tell a story.
Exactly.
Get away from all sorts of commoditizations that is happening in your mind, in your operations, and your business. You are unique. Your business is unique. Make your product, your service, your offering, your message, make them unique. Tell a story behind them that is coupled with the value that you provide, and get away from the commoditization.
Right. This was the end of day one. Okay, so amazing speakers, first day on the stage, amazing energy. If you want to join Russell Brunson's 5-day challenge, my first funnel building, right, experience, click the link below this video. And
yes, and always remember that we have more for you. The PDF that we have created is absolutely free. We will send you an email with a link that you can download this PDF, and you have even more insights from day one and every other day. So let's in order to keep, we are so conscious of the time that you invest on us right now. And we really want to make this as valuable as possible for you. And at the same time, given that, like this time pressure, let's say, make sure that we are giving you, not like a bullet, but actually valuable, workable information that you can apply in your business. So
exactly. So day 2 started with Jenna Kutcher. And Jenna said one of her points was, do not spend another day wearing busy as a badge of honor. Wow, this was something I think most probably the 5,000 people in the room all sort of felt the energy around this, right? We all tend to do that. So she said, actually think about, sit down and listen to this inner voice and ask yourself, what is it that I really need to do, right? The needle mover for where I want to go. And basically, deep down, you most probably know what you need to do, but you've been avoiding it. So really sit with that and take the next steps to build your business.
So also Jenna asked, have you climbed at the top of a mountain, like doing all you can, and arrive at the top and realize you're in the wrong mountain?
Oof, yes.
Because he said that once she crossed this six-figure mark. She was expecting, like angels singing,
Yes. Rainbows everywhere.
and
yes.
but she
She
said
didn't feel
that
anything.
I felt happier when I was making half that.
Wow.
So, what is really going on in your mind and what is really going on in your heart matters. This is why we always be repeating, start with your mindset and your heart set.
Yes.
Mental clarity and emotional mastery and fortifying your emotions are rule number one. Make sure that where you're going is not something that you picked on Instagram or Facebook. It is something that you really want, something that makes your heart sing. Build your business and your funnels around that, not the other way
And
around.
then what's the magic happen? Next on stage was Josh 40. He talked about mastering your story. And he said, you don't just tell a story, you build a story, right? So you take your customer, your audience, and you travel them through the story, through their identity. You make them feel understood through a path so they can see the outcome that they can get from your product or service. And finally, through your offer so they can see the future, what will happen if they engage with your product or service.
For
So
me, something powerful that Josh said was that when you commit to the outcome, you become worthy of it. It is very important to remember that if you say, okay, I like what Angelo is saying, I like what Alexandra is saying right now, and I might go about it, I will read a book about it, I will check it out, maybe I will leave this link, like hanging in there, and maybe during the weekend I will spend some time going through this webinar and so on. You're dabbling, you're browsing, you're not committed, you won't grow. You cannot say, I will see if going to the Olympics makes sense.
Yes.
No, you go to the Olympics by going through laborious exercises every single day for like 4 years, and this schedule is what will take you to one day have your gold medal hanging on your chest.
Exactly.
This is the game changer. Commit to what makes your heart sing. So in the beginning, you start with the idea that really matters to you, and it's not borrowed from someone else. It is something that really matters to you. And then you commit to it and you say, I will sleep much better at that than I woke up in the morning.
Exactly. Next was Tyson Durfee. He's the world champion in rodeo. Amazing presentation. He presented the cowboy framework. Actually, the gist of his presentation is how to have mental toughness, which is absolutely required in this day and age with all the developments that are going on. But one phrase particularly that stuck with me was that you cannot have $1 million dream, right? A big goal, and the $2 why. Boof. Right? Boof.
Yeah.
Because what he meant is you have to have an unshakable why, a why that really comes from your gut, from your heart. This will lead you through all the difficult stages. This will give you the mental toughness that is required. Success is not a straight line, right? The journey to success. It will go like this. So you will need to really think about this and do your work on that.
And for me, my keeper was that if they think you're crazy, you're on the right path.
Yes.
And it reminded me an amazing quote and an amazing insight and suggestion from Earl Nightingale, who was saying that in your life, if you don't know where to go, look where all the others are going and go the other way. So everybody is trying to justify their poor beliefs and actions by, looking around.
Yes.
Not looking at the people, the very few people that actually have the results that they want. So always remember that if you get, like a lot of naysaying around you and a lot of boos when you make your first videos or your first webinar and so on,
yes,
it is perfectly okay. You're most probably in the right direction, simply because most people don't get it.
Exactly. Follow your heart. Next was Russell Brunson and Steve Larsen. They had a very nice presentation about dramatic demonstration and how you can use it in your marketing and in your funnel. They used a very nice quote by P.T. Barnum, which actually we learned was the second millionaire in America. It was impressive. I didn't know that about him. And P.T. Barnum said, something terrible happens when you do not have promotion. Nothing. Right? So it's very simple but very powerful. This was the whole point, right?
Yes,
From Russell and Steve.
And the other powerful quote that I kept from this conversation, this presentation, was unplanned revenue equals no revenue.
Right.
So many people make this mistake, that I'm just getting started. So, I don't have a plan, a goal for me because I don't know how it will all unfold and so on. But this is not the way to go. Don't avoid to have like a goal in your mind, a financial outcome in your mind, because you don't want to feel the pain that you will not meet that goal. Always remember that at the end of the day, even if you fail miserably, you will grow if you have something that is much bigger than you to look ahead. Always remember that.
Exactly. And again, if you want the extended version of all the frameworks that were presented, you will find them in the free PDF that you can download from a link below this video. So next on stage was again Russell Brunson, this time together with Myron Golden, talking about persuasion secrets. And one keeper was that you should always address 3 parts of the human brain, or if you will, 3 types of buyers. And the 3 categories are emotion, logic, and fear. Okay, so
That's right.
Emotional buyers, logical buyers, fearful buyers. If during a presentation, a webinar, an email, anything that you do in your marketing, you forget about one of those 3, you are forgetting about a big chunk of your audience. This was very powerful because many times we focus on 1, maybe 2, right?
Yeah.
So think about 3.
Yeah. And most will default to the one that is makes sense to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, this is why we're saying that sales funnel optimization or funnel hacking is not something, that you double and like check every once in a while, or maybe, as you have after the Christmas dinner, that you have some time, because you are so busy all the other days of the year.
Yes.
It is something that you master. It is something that you invest, or one of your partners, one of your employees. It's not something that you have to do, but someone in the operation, in the organization of this vehicle that is called taking you from where you are to where you want to go, taking you from your current financial state, your current state of business to the ideal, is something that should be happening every single day. Every single day, you should be focusing on optimizing one or more parts of your funnel.
Exactly.
What I loved about was principle number 6, basically the I can't afford it clause.
Oh yes, this was a very good one.
And
I liked it too.
Ask yourself now, let's say we're making an offer to you, and ask yourself, how would you respond? Would you say, I can't afford that? So Angelo and Alexandra right now are offering a high ticket coaching program, and you say, I cannot afford that. And what they mean is it's not important enough for me to figure out how to afford it.
Exactly. So somewhere
there is something wrong with your product, or there is something wrong, most probably, with your communication, because people do not have a feel of your product yet, but they have a direct feedback in their minds about your marketing right now. So as I'm talking to you and I'm giving you all the best reasons that I've got to convince you to sign up for my coaching program, and you say, no, I cannot afford that, basically what you're telling me is I have not done my job right to communicate to you the benefits.
Exactly. So what Russell and Myron said, if you hear a lot of this, like I cannot afford that, really go back to all your marketing materials and check them. See, somewhere along the way, something is not quite convincing, maybe not explaining enough.
That's right.
Next was Christine Mirello. She talked about the power of using humor in your Facebook ads, in which she specializes. It was, let's say, an unconventional way, unconventional examples that she presented on stage of various Facebook ads. And it's how you can just be more relaxed with yourself. If you are a personality who is very humorous, it's in your nature to do this, it's totally okay to have this kind of advertising approach and use humor in order to attract people's attention. So it's like a combination of entertainment and putting an offer on the table, right?
For me, it was not something that she said. It was the attitude that a woman who was left alone to raise a baby,
single mother.
She's a single mom, and she not only was raising her baby, but at the same time she was raising her business.
Yes.
And she didn't, like try to fit into the boxes of any of her, role model, let's say, or her coaches or mentors. She decided to go about doing it as she felt right. And she demonstrates, is like an amazing example that just being yourself is more than enough.
Yes.
Just having your attitude. Of course, you need to, improve some skills and so on. But the attitude that you have should be you, not trying to be someone else. Be 100% you, not 1%, like Tony Robbins or Russell Brunson or any other of your favorite mentors.
Exactly. Actually, all the presenters sort of mentioned that, right? Because it's not about the framework and the funnel and all these things. Yes, you will put them into place. What shines through at the end of the day is your personality, your personal personality if you're in front of the marketing, or your brand's personality, the values that it stands for. Next was Alison Prince. He was talking about the power of using micro-influencers and how this trend is increasing in the marketing world. What I liked most is what she said is, if you want to work with micro-influencers, don't give them scripted text, which is something many brands tend to do, right?
That was for me also.
Yes. Yeah. So give them bullets and benefits of your product or service, and let the micro-influencer explain it, convey it to their audience in their own unique way. This is what you're getting. This is what you're buying, right? Don't try to put like
it fits again with what we've been discussing before.
Be authentic. Let the other person be authentic.
With Christine's presentation,
exactly.
Authenticity is what matters. And always remember, so if you have, like a 8-9 figure business, and you really care about, all these legal details and how this fits into my trademarks and how this fits into my brand manual and so on. Always remember that every single person that is conveying the value of your brand has to do it in their own way. So imagine
that's why you
right
chose
now,
them, right? That's
me
why
and
you
Alexandra,
want to work with them.
We have a discussion about this mug, right? We will be using our words. I will not be advertising in this Kennedy Space Center words, to Alexandra and trying to sell her, to have her tea at this mug. So always remember, just give the gist, and every single micro-influencer will convey it in their own words.
Exactly. Next was Mark Joyner. So Mark mentioned the 3 hedges to survive in a high and fast moving tech environment. So if you want to protect your business and be successful with your business, you can use 3 edges. Like the first one is hedges, right? Sorry. So the first one is always protect the 3 most important assets, which are your health, your skills, and your knowledge.
Right.
The second one is build a lifeboat business. I like this term very much. It's a pivotable business that can, withstand all the tests of time and the changing weather, let's say, conditions. And third, be independent from big tech.
Right. For me, what Mark said, I fully agree with these 3 hedges, and this was the most powerful thing that Mark said as well for me. But also, I have like a mental note.
What is it?
He said, give the direction to your subconscious. Wake me up tomorrow morning with a solution for this, that, or the other. Always remember that you're communicating to your subconscious, whether you know it or not. What really matters is not being on a bus, on a mental bus, and wanting to arrive at a location that you desire. You need to have your hands on the wheel of your mind. And it is very important because I said, Alexandra, I remember now. I have done Mark Joyner's course back in 2009, 2010 or something.
Yes.
And I checked back my emails and I remembered Mark Joyner's course that I took back then. And again, back then, he was talking about how many things are picking your brain every single day, all these distractions and so on, and how important it is to focus and make your thinking as simple as possible.
Exactly. And day two closed with Tom Bellew on the stage. Actually, it was an evening presentation. And he talked about the NFTs and the blockchain. This was a very interesting presentation for me.
Yeah.
NFTs and the blockchain, groundbreaking, really. He talked about advanced things in this space, but what I will give to you right now is the following, that NFTs and blockchain will completely and entirely change our world. And in a marketing aspect and point of view is that these technologies will give us the opportunity to have a completely customizable experience of the sales funnel for each and every user. This I cannot even boom, I cannot even begin to comprehend.
Can you imagine
what this will mean? Like every person in the audience, in your audience, can and will have very soon the possibility to have a fully customized experience of your sales funnel depending on their interests, their likes and dislikes. Wow.
This was the best keeper for me.
Yes.
Tom Bellew's presentation was very powerful in the sense that it took us, like to the stratosphere of funnel hacking. And we went like some light years ahead, maybe. But as we see in the past few years, maybe what he's saying will, be happening, will be like mainstream in like a couple of years.
Yes, exactly.
So this is why we encourage you to be more conscious of your decisions, always be learning and always be optimizing.
Yes, stay up to date. And that was the end of day 2.
And again, reminder, we will give you the notes that are more extensive, like 40 plus pages of notes from Funnel Hacking Live 2022. And of course, if you really want to up your funnel hacking game, we highly recommend to click our affiliate link that you will find somewhere around this video and sign up for Russell Brunson's Your First Funnel Challenge.
Exactly. Day 3 started very powerfully with Brendan Bouchard, one of our favorites. We know Brendan for many years. We've attended various events. He was talking about how you can make a behavioral shift during these fast changing times and how you can make this change stick. And he said something that I liked very much. I took notes and I highlighted immediately. And this is how
Alexandra took more notes.
Right, yes, I geeked out on notes, that's true. So Brendan said, when people sense that your potential has been activated, they want to be around you so that they can do the same too. How beautiful is that? It really moved me. It is something that, this passes through the marketing materials. It's from your heart to your audience's heart, and it goes on a much deeper level. It's extremely powerful, and it really makes you think. So this again has to do with be authentic, know your why, speak from the heart. This is all very, very powerful.
And also another, like a similar keeper that I have from Brandon's presentation, you cannot build a movement without heart.
Yes, exactly.
So this is
people
something.
Feel it.
When I started writing the Daily Shots of Inspiration, January 1st, 2015, I never intended to make a single dollar from all this. And what matters to me still is what I see. And what I see is you as your super self, even when you cannot see that for yourself. And this is what drives me. The fact that I know that every single cell of my being knows that you one day can look yourself in the mirror and actually see your super self. And this has taken me through so many challenges, through so many hardships. And, this is like the fire that will never go away.
Right, exactly.
And people, your audience gets that. This is why you have, like products that are doing amazingly well financially, but nobody remembers them. I am, apart from the financial remuneration, I receive also emotional remuneration, because I receive messages every single day, like, you helped me achieve that, you helped me overcome that.
Yes.
And this proves that you're on the right track. And then making financial sense of this movement is only a part of systemization and funnel hacking, making sure you're attracting the right audience and making sure you're giving them the right information.
Exactly. Next on stage was Bill Allen. He spoke about your identity statement, and he said something which was very interesting. He said, write down your identity statement. And I'm thinking, like, what is an identity statement? And he said, okay, so you write down this. I will do whatever it takes to achieve my goal. Just don't ask me to do X, okay? Because that is just not me. And he said, most probably the X that you wrote down is exactly the thing that you have to do to unlock your business. So this was a very nice exercise, and it's something you can use from time to time yourself, right? To really jump your business some steps ahead.
Also, what I kept from Bill Allen's presentation was another quote, another punchline that demonstrates the sense of urgency that you need to have in order to change towards the direction that you want. Because again, you might say, oh, this is interesting, I will look up into it,
Yes.
sometime in the future.
Yes.
And then, like a year goes by, or it's like ding, 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 like the New Year's Eve and so on. And you say, oh, I haven't done that. I didn't have the progress that I wanted. I have not achieved that goal. I have not reached that destination. I am not my super self. You know why? Because most probably you're lacking this quote. The success lies in the death of the previous identity.
Oof, yes.
How comfortable are you with that? How comfortable are you to die mentally and emotionally in order to give birth to your new higher self? Because this is what it takes. You cannot take like new pieces of new patches and put them in an old t-shirt and say old code, whatever, and say this is a new code. You cannot do that. You need to let go of everything else that is keeping you away from what and who you need to become.
And actually, I can say safely that all the presenters on stage have done this through some stage, one way or the other, or most probably multiple times as well. Next was Perry Belzer. We've been following Perry for many years, and it was a delight to see him on stage.
What an amazing
guy, an amazing presentation. Marketing-wise, he spoke about the premiums and their power to really create attraction in your funnel and also create retention in your funnel, right? And he said a premium, which is actually like a gift, a bonus, an award, something that you give to your customer in order to attract them, but also to retain them. He said that it is not something that your customer necessarily needs, but it is something that he really wants, right? Some gadget or something nice, like, these t-shirts.
Right. Right.
Yes, it's a shining example.
Yeah, this t-shirt is a premium. Yes. We bought something. We gave Russell money. We gave
ClickFunnels money for the event, right? And he gave us a t-shirt.
But the thing is that the premium has two important characteristics. Number one, it doesn't have to be something that they need. It has to be something that they really want.
Yes.
Okay. But also, it might have nothing to do with your product or service. So Perry reminded me, because I heard Perry Belzer give that presentation before and describe this amazing example before.
I think you
from
know what
Sports
you're going to say.
Illustrated.
Yes, yes. Amazing case
yeah,
study.
the
Yes.
amazing example.
Yes.
So Sports Illustrated were going under. They were about to go bankrupt.
Yes,
And
losing
they came up with this
subscriptions.
amazing
Campaign.
this
Yes.
amazing campaign advertising a football that is actually a phone.
So it was
So
the
it's like it
famous
was like back in the
telephone
80s or
football.
something,
Yes.
late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And with that premium, this football, they sold 1.6 million subscriptions, and they skyrocketed.
It was an amazing campaign, and because it's also from
So-
the 80s, which I personally love, you can Google it to see the print and all the advertisements
Yeah.
and the testimonials. It's very
So
nice.
it is
Yes.
that simple, but you need to do the work, to find out what it is that my
ideal client really would love to get, right?
crave as a
Exactly.
premium, so that they can get what they need, which is my product or service.
Exactly. So they can enter my funnel and stay in my funnel. Next was Anthony Morrison. He was talking about building a webinar machine. So he said there are several optimization levers that you can pull in your webinar in order to make it like a webinar sales machine. And you can find the frameworks again in the free PDF, which you can download with our extended version of the notes.
Mhm.
But what Anthony said, which was very nice, is that small changes compound the conversion rates. Like, it's use the power
Right.
of compounding. If you really geek out on your funnel, right, or your webinar
Exactly.
sequence, exactly, you can find these little spots and split test and see what works and doesn't work. And if you do this systematically over time, it will really get you big results.
And always remember, it is something that we actually mentioned in the beginning of this masterclass. Always remember that right now, as we are not talking to you, we are talking on a little dot on a little camera, and this, does its job and goes all around the world and distributed to you right now.
Yes.
On another screen. So knowing that means that you also expend more energy to make it as real and as live as it gets. Give the feeling of the live presentation so that there is engagement. So if you were sitting with us right now next to us, it would be much easier for us to convey a message, to give you some profound, feedback from Funnel Hacking Live. But since this is, like a digital presentation, we need to put, all our mighty
efforts, all our
forces
energy.
in order to convey the message.
Yes. Next on stage was Jamie Kern Lima. Very heartfelt presentation about hacking yourself, actually. And she spoke a lot about turning down the volume of self-doubt, right? In order to turn up the volume of your inner knowing. And Jamie has followed her inner knowing many times along a very difficult path of building her business, which she finally sold, we all know, for over $1 billion. So really, this is something that goes across, all marketing lines and all sales funnels again. Really listen to your gut and your inner knowing. If you take the time to sit still, you will find all the answers that you need regarding your marketing, your sales funnels, your business, and everything in your life.
For me, it was something that was not, Jamie Kern Lima said it, but it is something that someone else told her, right? And what was that I do not believe, because he said that you cannot advertise on QVC. You cannot appear on screen. We will have some models of that for your product. And, she was trying, to convince him that this is not the best way to go and so on. And he said, I do not believe that a woman like you can sell to your audience. A woman, with the acne,
your weight and the skin problems,
and the rosacea that she had, right? And her weight. So,
wow.
This, I don't know about you, but this sounds, quite crippling. Okay? So how do you go about that? Imagine that you are on the receiving end of that phrase. How would you respond? Would you completely freeze mentally and emotionally? Would you go on a depression spiral? Or would you go about making your vision a reality regardless, actually hiring that person as your consultant many years later,
Yes, that was amazing.
and selling for 1.2 billion.
Yes.
What would you do? Because this is the difference maker. This is why in the very beginning of a funnel hacking review masterclass, we were talking about mindset and heart set.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is the game changer.
This is what has brought success to all the people who earned their place on this stage.
Yes.
And finally, closing day 3 with Russell Brunson, he talked about the linchpin in their business. And he was talking about continuity and subscription, the power of continuity and subscription, which can give longevity to your business. And what stuck with me was a quote that he mentioned from David Frey, which is, if you do not have continuity, you do not have a business.
Boom.
Okay. Many people
Yes.
in the room were like, okay, I have to do something about creating a continuity plan in my
Yes.
business, and I have to do it fast. And also, I liked very much the MIFKI. You want to explain what it is?
Well, what really matters, again, is something that is very valuable to your client. I mean, this is the keeper for me, okay?
Mhm.
And also, I wanted to share another thing that, again, it was not said by Russell, but it was on that presentation.
Okay.
It was Noah's story, the 14-year-old boy who
Yes.
said he will not work for money in the company, only for equity.
Oh, yes, yes.
How
this
about
was,
that?
Yes,
This
amazing,
was actually the,
yes.
the best mifki of that presentation, because it was an amazing bonus for me to see. For many times with Alexandra, we are talking about how would you actually think different if you had
Yes.
these little insights in your mind early on in your life,
Yes.
okay? And this is it. So this is the end of day 3. Again, you will have many more insights in your notes. The PDF that you can download, it's like 40 plus pages. And always remember that you can click on our affiliate link and sign up for free for Russell Brunson's Your First Funnel Challenge. It is a 5-day challenge that will help you up your funnel hacking game.
Exactly. And finally, day 4. Day 4 started with the powerful Marie Forleo on stage. And she discussed about and presented a different concept this time. It was not about marketing. It was not so much about funnels, but it was about time and how we all live in a time stress world.
We all need to hack our time.
We all need to hack our time.
I don't care if you're like a billionaire, if you're like a prime minister or president of a country. You need to hack your time.
Yes.
We all have 24 hours, and the way to do more and be more is to hack our time.
Yes, Marie spoke from personal experience. She explained her journey and how she came up with this concept. And the new concept is instead of living in a time stress world, now she lives in a time genius world. And what is this? And I read from my notes, it is a new paradigm where you have more space, more energy, you are more centered, and it is a sustainable, way to live. And you have to start this by rewiring your brain. Again, the framework you will find in the notes, but how do you start rewiring the brain? Do you remember the statement, the exercise that we did? You can write down a statement for yourself and say, I don't do X, like overwhelm, stress, guilt, micromanaging, whatever it is, right, for you and your business. Once you start to say this over and over and over again in your mind, magical things will happen.
And also she went to the next level by saying, I started saying yes only to the things that are full body yes.
Yes, full
every
body.
Single
every
cell of your
says,
being says
yes, I will
to
go
that,
for this.
So you move on. If you are, there are surely better things to fill your 24 hours. And also remember, because many of you are following me for years and you know by now that basically you don't manage your time. Okay, I know that time management is a very common term and we even use it to communicate, but you don't manage time. Time passes by relentlessly for all of us by 1 second per second. What you manage is actually your attention, and you steer your attention to the things that matter to you, to the things that deserve to be a part of your life, your precious life.
Your precious life. Next, on stage, Ed Milet.
So, on my notes,
yes,
I have different ways to remind myself, like when a month passes by or a year passes by, because this is my most valuable book, actually, my notebook. So I have different ways of jotting down things, so I use, like all capital letters and so on. Then I use, like
little bubbles,
little
right?
bubbles and clouds and so on. So on Ed Milet, almost everything is either capital letter or on bubbles.
Yes. It was difficult to
It was a very
pick.
powerful presentation. And very amazing stories as well. The one with his son with the golfing story was amazing. So if Ed Milet is going to be next year at Funnel Hacking Live, I would pay for the same amount only for this presentation.
Yes. It was top. It was
very top. Mean it. I mean it. Okay. I know sometimes that, like one presentation, one story actually is enough to shift your mind and your heart in the right direction.
Exactly. So, okay, I have two keepers from it because also I could not select. It was almost impossible. So he said, and he started with this, and this really set the tone for the presentation. He said, our problem is depth perception. We believe our dreams, our goals are forever away. And that is why they stay there. Another aha moment.
You justify that belief.
Exactly.
What do we have to do again? Work on our mindset.
Exactly.
Shift that belief. Make sure you believe that what you want is accessible to you. You deserve it, you can do it, and you will do it. And it is happening. How is it happening? Because you're taking every single day steps towards it. Thoughts and actions that takes you to where you want to go. Exactly. This is how it happens.
Exactly.
We tend to,
we tend to leave it in the future, right? It's too big. Sometime in my life, I will make like $1 million, buy the dream house. He said, no, you are leaving it too far away in the future. Bring it close to you. Start taking the actions. Second keeper from me is that we are actually all in the business of selling what? Happiness.
Wow!
So every product, every service, anything that all of us are offering in the market out there, it actually at the end of the day leads to happiness. We also as consumers, we buy something because we want a result, we want to feel better, we want to feel happier. And this immediately opened up my perspective. It is a much bigger picture to look at. And it reveals so much more that you can actually do in your marketing if you look at it this way, right?
Right.
I remember we were looking at each other during the presentation like, okay, this is a keeper.
Yes, and now it makes even more sense to me, this passion that I have to basically install in your operating system the mindset, I am happy and march unstoppable towards my vision.
Yes.
Because many times we think that what we will acquire, this product, this service, this dream trip, like to this exotic location will give us happiness, but basically this is a creation of our minds, and this is part of everything around you. If you see all this advertising that is happening is part of this process.
Exactly.
For me, the advertising that was very powerful was the little speech that he gave to his son.
Oh, yes.
That winning is more fun than fun is fun.
Exactly.
This is something that we tend to forget. We tend to, put under the rug because we don't want to feel disheartened from a failure.
Yes.
So you might say, you know what? I tried. You know what? Just attending is what matters. No, winning is what matters. And when you have this winning attitude, even if you fail, you've pushed yourself to the point that you've grown, so you've won anyway. It's not the medal, but the winning. The winning attitude is what will get you
Yes.
where you want
And
to
this
go.
attitude that he installed in his son when he was very young, this was a boy who was losing every golf game, right?
Yeah.
Actually led his son to really like this concept so much that finally he gained a full golf scholarship at school, right? So it's an amazing philosophy to have. Next was Garrett White on stage, and he said one key takeaway from me was, do not just speak of freedom, right? The big freedom word that all the entrepreneurs we are looking at, we are entrepreneurs because we want to be free. Have the courage to pursue it, right? Really take the steps, really work on this. This is something that really needs your grit, your commitment, your determination to really go after it and really have so much discipline in order to create it. And actually, this reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, that discipline creates freedom. I think it is matching Garrett's presentation. Yes.
And what's fascinating to me was that my best keeper was something from his early days, not something from his achieving days.
Mm-hmm.
The fact, he said, that I wanted the stage, but I didn't want to do what it would take to deserve the stage.
Very, very powerful.
So
yes,
always
yes,
remember
What
that
are
you
willing
cannot
to do?
just appear at Funnel Hacking Live
Live
2023, like just because you showed up. You have done something for you, your clients, and so on, that is so powerful, so good, that is worth sharing.
Yes.
This is how you earn, the stitches, it is an important thing to remember. We all tend to get away from the things, it was from a previous presentation that Alexandra mentioned. We tend to let go of the things that we actually have to do to get where we want to go.
Exactly. Next and final keynote speaker was Marcus Lemonis, and he said, be yourself, just be your authentic self. This is much more comfortable, and in this way you give permission to others to be themselves too.
Wow.
It is very fundamental, and it looks simple, but it's not so simple. It's actually extremely powerful,
extremely
right?
profound.
Extremely profound.
It is something that we all, in a way, struggle with, especially with digital communication.
Yes.
Because now we're not reading your response. Are you agreeing with what we're saying? Are you not? Are you getting, kind of bored and distracted? Are you focused on what we're talking about? And for me, the best keeper from Marcus Lemonis, it is something that it is an amazing also way to leave you with. Because he said that the best way to leave your baggage behind is to reinvent yourself in a way that you're comfortable.
Exactly. Comfortable being the key word, right?
If you go to a seminar and you say, Angelo said these 3 amazing things, and I'm going to take on, his path and his framework, and I'm going to, reinvent myself. And you do these things that do not make so much sense to you.
Yes.
And in a way, you don't feel comfortable. It's not about being comfortable, like waking up at 5 a.m. It's doing it every single day for the rest of your life. And actually trying to convince yourself that this is the only way for you to be successful. It's not. Otherwise, all millionaires or billionaires would wake up at 5 a.m.
Yes.
If someone, at least one, wakes up at 10 a.m. and has the same level of success, it means it's not part of the fundamentals. So focus on the things that work for you, because you have your own journey, your own goals, your own aspirations, your own values, and what you're handpicking from what we've shared in this 70 minutes by now is the things that truly make a difference in your life, in your path from where you are right now to where you want to go. So, for example, maybe you're on step 1, maybe you're on step number 327 as we meet here. What matters to us is to take what we've given you, handpick the things that matter to you from all we've said, maybe on the extensive notes that will be given to you on the PDF, and even if you decide to sign up for the free 5-day challenge, even more insights so that you can upgrade your funnel, upgrade your financial success, upgrade the impact that you want to live in the world.
Exactly.
This is what matters. Always remember that we all have 24 hours every single day.
Yes.
And the way, the thoughts and actions that we put on that day will determine the outcome that we will have tomorrow. So
this concluded like the fourth day, the best keepers from the speakers, as Angelo said at the beginning. We want to leave you with one very powerful message. This is not a time to handle your business in the frame of mind like this is business as usual.
Yes,
it is not anymore business as usual. Okay, the environment is rapidly changing. There are so many variables. It's so difficult to keep up. So the one thing you should focus on is really build your funnel. If you already have one, master it. If you have not started yet, start. Take this one funnel and really check every point of this funnel and master it. Don't just dabble with it, master it until it works and gives you the conversions and the leads you want. And like Russell Brunson said, if one funnel does not work, it's not the fault of the funnel. You have not done the work right enough. You should geek out and see all the parts of the funnel. Once you get one funnel working, and you should focus on only one, not to create overwhelm, then you can go on to the next funnel, right?
Yes.
This was very good tip from Russell.
So it is time to repeat my favorite quote, the one that I've made up in the last couple of days, I think, or a bit more.
Yes.
Only those who get funnels get paid. And always remember that it is a time to always be learning, always be growing, always be optimizing. So I will leave you with a quote from Jenna Kutcher.
Mm-hmm.
It was how she finished her presentation. And make sure that what we're saying now, we believe it with every single cell of our being. This is who we are. If we met, you know it for us. We love you, even though we haven't met. We truly love you. This is why we're here. But most importantly, we love the version of you who is becoming, and we cannot wait to meet your super self in the near future.
I got moved, actually.
Yes. Thank you very much for your attention and your participation.
Yes.
We really believe that if you take even some of this, like if you handpick some of these insights, you can do amazing things with your funnel. And we look forward to seeing you in an upcoming masterclass. See you soon.
See you soon.
Ciao,
bye-bye.